Hi, we're here in Orlando, Florida, Vectors 2019. That is SkySwitch's user conference. Joining me this morning is Greg Steining from 3CX. Greg, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, we're here on the third day, the final day of this year's show. What are your thoughts? What have you seen?
It's been a fantastic show, and the thing that I've liked is that people are actually excited to see 3CX here. At first it was, what are you doing here? And then when they realize what it is we're doing here, it's, you saw it. They walked by, grabbed my hand, man, that's great. We're going to be a partner of yours. And that's been really exciting for us.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. With that said, talk a little bit about your relationship with SkySwitch and why you are here at Vectors.
Excellent. So we're an IP PBX solution. We're a software company, right? And in the past, you put together your own server, you hosted it yourself, you got your own SIP trunk, you kind of built it all yourself, you made your margins on all those edges, and you were very profitable, and you didn't have to discount your services. But there are some partners out there, it's easier for them to go to one place and buy at one place and just do it all at once. And so SkySwitch is our partner for that. You can be a SkySwitch partner, you can go into their shop, you can go ahead and buy 3CX, you can buy your hosting, you can buy your SIP trunk, you can get your DIDs, you can buy your phone, and it'll be delivered. And the phones will arrive at the customer and everything's cool. It's one-stop shopping, the support's there, the price for us is the same if you buy it direct or buy it through them, and we're really pushing this relationship with them because it's really advantageous to many, many, many of our partners.
So why work with SkySwitch? There are a lot of other potential folks that you could be working out there.
Well, that's a good question, and SkySwitch isn't our only solution partner, our solution provider, but they're a really good SIP trunk solution, and they have a white label solution, and their pricing is very, very good. And our existing partners that do business with them are very, very happy with that. They like the fact that when the customer gets the bill, it says, our partner, ACC Telecom, right? He likes that. And so we explored this to say, well, let's bring them into the fold at least as a supported SIP trunk. And then as we were talking to Erik, we realized, hey, there's other business here, other partners that aren't aware of 3CX. So we can make this bigger than it is, and we did that. So we're going to cross-pollinate. Some of our partners are going to choose them as SIP trunks, and hopefully all their partners will choose us as at least one of their choices for a PBX.
So you had a chance to get on stage and talk a little bit here this week. What'd you tell the attendees?
I really told them about 3CX, and then I told them, this is our partnership. We're going to make it easier for you. And they didn't know who we were. They wondered what in the world is 3CX and why they're doing here, because they see us as a competitor of NetSapiens. And quite frankly, most of these users or partners, what SkySwitch calls them, they have their hosted solution with NetSapiens, but they've got tons of on-prem customers too, and they can't move them to the cloud. But guess what? 3CX is Windows and Linux. It's in the cloud or on-prem. We give you freedom. And it's just one more arrow in their quiver. And it's good for them and it's good for us.
I feel like we're starting to see more and more of that's a sort of co-opetition in the market where you may have some competition or competitive environment, but the collaboration, the partnership element outweighs that.
That's true. Now, overall, the market is moving towards standards and collaboration and partnership, and everybody kind of chooses their lane, and then they like we have an API, we create a receptacle, and someone creates a plug, and they use it for telemedicine, or they use it for their CRM or something like that. It just made sense. One of the things that a SIP trunk operator wants is to have sticky end users. And when it's so easy to port a number, they're not sticky, so you add other services. 3CX is a huge partner environment. When we look at the 3CX and the money that 3CX makes, and then the money that our partners charge for their phones and their SIP trunks and their services and everything else, we're the size of Ring Central. And people never see that coming. And that's who we are. And we make profit where everybody else loses money. And we focus on the small to medium-sized business that needs more functionality than what they can get from Google Voice.
So when you talk about being that size of a business, you've done that fairly quietly. 3CX has been around for a little while.
Right.
how have you been able to do that, without some of these resellers and others in the market realizing it?
Well, Nick Galley is a visionary, right? And he took a look and said, I want to be in this business, but I need to make my money where everybody else isn't looking. Now, I have experience. When I got out of the Army, I went to work for Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and nobody had ever heard of Enterprise Rent-A-Car until one day, Enterprise Rent-A-Car was the largest car rental company in the world because they focused on a market that no one was aware of. It was called insurance replacement. And guess what? That's not at the airport, that's at local offices. And that's kind of what Nick has done. He said, I'm going to focus on these end users, these businesses that aren't served by the big guys. If you think about it, what was it, 1995, Clayton Christensen, The Innovator's Dilemma, the guys that enter the market, they go to the top where the people can pay for it, right? So you got Avaya, Mitel, used to be ShoreTel, and Cisco, and they're right there at the top where everybody has tons of money. But guess what? They forget about the middle where people don't need high-end functionality, but they do need something other than Ooma or Jive or RingCentral or some of these others. And that's exactly where we fit. We're right there saying, look, we're going to give you enterprise-grade functionality for a price that is, incredibly inexpensive. Because you shouldn't have to leverage your firstborn male child to get a phone system. And that's our belief.
So as far as, certainly that's a valid argument, as far as capabilities, features, functionality, all the things that businesses are looking for, you're comparable to, 3CX is comparable to all the other providers that you mentioned.
We do it all. Now, there's a level that we're not going to do it, so say Tech Data. If their phones go down, they lose $1 million a minute. So that's $1 million. If our system goes down, it may be down for a minute, right? Well, they're willing to spend $1 million to avoid that. But there's a lot of businesses out there that are willing to lose a call or two and not have to pay for that. We have enterprise-grade functionality. Within the last couple of years, we've picked up companies like Barracuda Networks and Subaru of America. And we've got a lot of logos going our way because they realize that they can do business with a partner that's selling 3CX and move a ton of money out of that budget and somewhere else. School districts are another huge win for us. We've got school districts all over the country that are switching to 3CX and having the money in their budget to hire more teachers, because it's ridiculous that these phone companies or these competitors of ours charge that much money for something that's so basic.
Well, excellent. That's
inflammatory, right?
Greg, this all sounds wonderful. Sounds like it's been a really productive week for you here at Vectors. We're so glad you were here, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.